Welcome everybody to the Madden 24 update show. I'm Bobby, I'm your host throughout the season as we're about to begin the first preseason. The first preseason game of the 2023 season. We got 2 games tonight, so let's kind of go over this week's schedule. We got 2 Thursday night games at 7 p.m. The Houston Texans are going to be on the road against the New England Patriots on the NFL Network. Followed by a 10 p.m. game in Seattle, where the Vikings will be taking on the Seahawks, also on the NFL Network. Friday, August 11th has some good matchups too. Green Bay at Cincinnati, the Packers and Bengals. Friday, 7 p.m. on the NFL Network. And there's a lot of 7 p.m. games, including the Giants at Lions, Detroit and New York go at it, Atlanta at Miami, the Falcons and Dolphins, and then the Steelers at Buccaneers. Baker Mayfield taking on Kenny Pickett, I want to say. But we're going to continue it at 7:30 with Washington at Cleveland. And then at 10 p.m. with Denver at Arizona on the NFL Network. Then we got a few other games all on Saturday. A 1 p.m. game between the Titans and Bears. Another 1 p.m. game between the Chiefs and Saints. Or no, that's Sunday. At Saturday, you got the Titans at Bears. At 1 p.m., the Jets at Panthers at 4 p.m., the Jaguars at Cowboys at 5 p.m., the Eagles at Ravens at 7 p.m., and then a 9 p.m. game between the Chargers at Rams. Followed by 2 Sunday games, including the Chiefs at Saints, and then the 49ers at Raiders. Oh, hold on. There's another 1 p.m. game on Saturday, the Colts at Bills. Sorry, that is a mistake on my end. Sorry about that, my mic failed. But taking a look at the first week of the regular season, we kick it off Thursday on NBC when the Chiefs take on the Lions. To see that, tune in at 8:20 p.m. on Thursday. But we got 2 other weeks of the preseason before we get to that game. So let's talk about some of the top players heading into this year. And even some of the top teams. Obviously a top team is the Kansas City Chiefs, for sure. Defending Super Bowl champions. And if you're in the NFC, you do gotta look out for the Philadelphia Eagles, defending NFC champions and Super Bowl runner-ups. The NFL came out with a list of some of their top players this year, including 4th-year wide receiver Justin Jefferson of the Minnesota Vikings, 7th-year quarterback Patrick Mahomes of the Kansas City Chiefs, 7th-year running back Christian McCaffrey of the San Francisco 49ers, 8th-year wide receiver Tyreek Hill of the Miami Dolphins, 10th-year right end Aaron Donald of the Rams, 11th-year tight end Travis Kelce of the Chiefs, 3rd-year right end Micah Parsons of the Cowboys. Sorry. 6th-year quarterback Lamar Jackson of the Ravens. 7th-year right end of the Browns, Myles Garrett. And rounding up the list is actually a right guard. 10th-year Zach Martin of the Dallas Cowboys. But I mean, looking at the league, some of the other top quarterbacks in the league is Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Dak Prescott, Tua Tagovailoa, Justin Herbert, Jalen Hurts, and Brock Purdy kind of to round it out. But I mean, you got some good rookies this year, such as CJ Stroud of the Ohio State Buckeyes, drafted number 2 in the draft. He looks like he could be a good fit for Houston. Florida quarterback Anthony Richardson got sent to the Colts, and he looks like he could also do good. And of course, the most looking at is Alabama quarterback Bryce Young, drafted number 1 overall by the Carolina Panthers. You gotta wonder how he could do this. Taking a look at some of the top running backs, I mean, you see guys like Nick Chubb, Titans Derrick Henry, Giants Saquon Barkley, Bengals Joe Mixon, Raiders Josh Jacobs, Packers Aaron Jones, Jaguars Travis Etienne Jr., Cowboys Tony Pollard, and Seahawks Kenneth Walker. And barely not making the list is Eagles DeAndre Swift, Chiefs Isaiah Pacheco, and Colts Jonathan Taylor. Wide receivers, you got Cowboys CeeDee Lamb, Eagles AJ Brown, Lions Amon-Ra St. Brown, Raiders Devontae Adams, Bengals Jamar Chase, Bills Stephon Diggs, and then Buccaneers Mike Evans. Tight ends, I mean, you see 49ers George Kittle, Mark Andrews, TJ Hawkinson, David Njoku, Evan Ingram, Dallas Goedert, Darren Waller, and Kyle Pitts. The defensive side of the ball, the left ends are looking pretty good with Max Crosby, Nick Bosa, DeMarcus Lawrence, Justin Matterberg, Cameron Jordan, Greg Rosario, and Montez Sweat. As well as rookie Will Anderson Jr. out of Alabama, drafted by the Texans at number 3. I'm excited to see what he can do. Right end, I mean, you got Cameron Hayward, Derek Brown, Trey Hendrickson, Aiden Hutchinson, Jeffrey Simmons, and Von Miller. I mean, Miller's a bit older. I mean, he's in his 13th year in the NFL, but he could still put up some numbers. Defensive tackle, Dexter Lawrence, Quinnen Williams, Vita Vea, Jonathan Allen, DJ Reader, DeForest Buckner, Michael Pierce, Grover Stewart, and Javon Hargrave. Look to be pretty good. The linebacker spot, I mean, you got normal TJ Watt, Danielle Hunter, Matthew Judon, Joey Bosa, and Hassan Reddick. Middle linebacker, Fred Warner, Roquan Smith, Demario Davis, Levante David, Foyesed Oluokun, I hope I'm saying that right, and CJ Mosley. Looking at the right outside linebacker, you got guys like Josh Allen, Khalil Mack, Alex Highsmith, Dre Greenlaw, Matt Milano, Brian Burns, and Jeremiah Osawoku Koroma. I hope I'm saying that right. I pray I am. And then at cornerback, you got Jalen Ramsey, Sauce Gardner, Patrick Surtain, Jair Alexander, Marshawn Lattimore, Travarius Ward, Darius Slay Jr., and Marlon Humphrey. Full safety, you got Jesse Bates, Minka Fitzpatrick, Antoine Winfield Jr., Tyrann Mathieu, Justin Simmons, Kevin Byard, and Javon Holland. Strong safety, Derwin James Jr., Talana Hufanga, Buda Baker, who currently is injured. Baker does have a shoulder strain, and he will be out for a week. We'll get to more injuries in a moment. Kyle Hamilton, Jordan Poyer, Harrison Smith, and Jabril Peppers. Looking at the top kickers, I mean, Justin Tucker, Harrison Butker, Jake Elliott, Brandon Aubry, and Chris Boswell. And punters, AJ Cole, Ryan Stonehouse, Brian Anger, Tommy Townsend, and Corey Borges. But one thing we should most likely look at are the injuries heading in to this first preseason week. Let's mainly focus on the injuries of big players. Danielle Hunter has a dislocated shoulder and he'll be out for 1 week. Texans tight end Dalton Schultz has a dislocated wrist and he'll be out for a week. Seahawks wide receiver DK Metcalf will be out for 1 week with a shoulder strain. Falcons right end Grady Jarrett is out for 1 week with a dislocated wrist. Sorry about that. It was a little off, but dislocated wrist, 1 week injury. Kevin Byard is out for 1 week with a hip pointer, so that's going to be a little bit bad for the Eagles. One of the long injuries right now is Ryan Jensen, center, out all year with a fractured kneecap. Bengals tight end Mike Mitchell Wilcox, out 1 week with a back strain. And that's really all the notable injuries heading in to the preseason. Keyword, notable. I have not mentioned any of the injuries of players that don't 100% matter. But we do have some big questions, mainly relating to the award winners of last year. Can Patrick Mahomes keep the Chiefs afloat, getting another MVP season, and maybe leading them to their 4th Super Bowl trophy? Can the Eagles keep the NFC? And can Jalen Hurts figure out how to be a good quarterback and hit up A.J. Brown a lot this year? Can Justin Jefferson keep his reign as Offensive Player of the Year? Can Brian Daboll lead the Giants to the playoffs? Can Nick Bosa regain Defensive Player of the Year again? And can he become one of the best defensive players in the league? But taking a look at this, the Chiefs are looking for their 6th AFC championship. Or no, my bad. Their 3rd AFC championship in the AFC title era. 5th or 6th. Or let me try it. Can the Chiefs get their 5th AFC? Can the Chiefs get their 6th AFC championship this year? They have 3 AFC titles in the AFC championship era. 5 if you count their 2 AFL titles that led them to the Super Bowl. That led them to 2 Super Bowls, aka 1 and 4. But Texans Patriots is looking to be an okay matchup. Let's kind of look at the starting lineups for the Patriots. Texans, and then Vikings, Seahawks. Taking a look at the Houston Texans, C.J. Stroud, the rookie, will be starting, followed by Dameon Pierce and Devin Singletary at running back, Andrew Beck at fullback, rookie Tank Dell at wide receiver 1 with Nico Collins and Robert Woods joining him, Brevin Jordan at tight end, probably will be replaced by Dalton Schultz when he comes back, Will Anderson Jr. at the starting left end, Jonathan Greenland at the starting right end, Sheldon Rankins at the starting defensive tackle, middle linebacker Denzel Perryman, Blake Cashman at the left outside linebacker, Neville Hewitt at the right outside, Derek Singletary Jr. and Steven Nelson as the starting 2 cornerbacks, Jalen Petier as the starting full safety, the starting strong safety of Jimmy Ward, Kaimi Fairburn starting as the kicker, and Cameron Johnston starting as the punter. The kick returner is Steven Sims, and their punt returner is also Mr. Sims. Now let's move on to New England. Still in the post-Brady era, they're still starting Mac Jones, followed by Ramondre Stevenson and Ezekiel Elliott at the 2 starting running backs, with Elliott also being the fullback on certain plays, Kendrick Bourne, Demario Douglas, and Devontae Parker at the 3 receivers, with former Chief Juju Smith-Schuster at receiver 4. The tight end is Hunter Henry. Some of the rest of this team, Christian Barmore at left end, Dietrich Wise Jr. at right end, Devon Godchaux, I want to say that's how you say it, at defensive tackle, Matthew Judon at left outside linebacker, Jawan Bentley at middle linebacker, Jalen Tavei at right outside linebacker. The 2 starting cornerbacks are Jonathan Jones and Christian Gonzalez, the starting full safety of Jalen Mills, the starting strong safety of Jabril Peppers, the starting kicker of Chad Ryland, the starting punter of Bryce Behringer, including the kick returner Marcus Jones, and the punt returner Marcus Jones. Now let's take a look at the Thursday night game, between the Vikings and the Seahawks. Starting it off with Minnesota, Kirk Cousins at quarterback. The running backs of Alexander Madison and Cam Akers. CJ Ham at fullback. Wide receivers are Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, and KJ Osborne. Crap, I accidentally clicked the wrong thing and I have to reload up the page. Starting tight end of TJ Hawkinson. Starting left end of Dean Lowry. Starting right end of Jonathan Bullard. Starting defensive tackle of Antoine Woods. Starting left outside linebacker of Marcus Davenport. Starting middle linebacker Jordan Hicks. Starting right outside linebacker DJ Wonnum Jr. Or no, is it just DJ Wonnum? Okay, I was reading. My bad. Byron Murphy Jr. Mekhi Blackmon are the cornerbacks. Cameron Bynum and Harrison Smith at the safeties. Greg Joseph at kicker. And Ryan Wright at punter. Kick returner is Keeney Nwangwu. And he's also their punt returner. Now finally taking a look at the Seahawks. Geno Smith at quarterback. Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet at running back. Nick Belleroy at fullback. Tyler Lockett, Jackson Smith and Jigba. And Dwayne Eskbridge at wide receiver. Noah Fant at tight end. Draymond Jones at left end. Leonard Williams at right end. Jerron Reed at defensive tackle. Boye Mafe at left outside linebacker. Bobby Wagner at middle linebacker. Uchina Nwosu at right outside linebacker. Tarek Woolen and Devon Witherspoon at cornerback, Quandre Diggs at full safety, and strong safety being Jamal Adams. The kicker being Jason Myers, and the punter being Michael Dickinson, as well as kick returner Dwayne Eskridge, and the punt returner being Tyler Lockett. We already mentioned all the games, including the 2 games. Remember, Texans at Patriots, 7 p.m. live on the NFL Network. And at 10 p.m., Vikings at Seahawks, live on the NFL Network. Hope we could see you all then. And we will see you then. Football's back, baby. And it's starting all on the NFL Network. And we'll see you all then. Goodbye.